Hello, my name is Amber, and I wanted to take a few minutes to share with you what you can expect in a one-on-one consultation with me from the perspective of a therapeutic yoga practice. So, the first couple of things that I want to talk about today is what is yoga? And so there is lots of ideas of what yoga is. Most common are, to our greatest detriment, I think, is that we only have a very small snapshot of what yoga is here in the West. And what we see is we typically see some very bendy people turning themselves and shaping themselves into all sorts of wild shapes that for the most average person seems almost unachievable. And in fact, the greatest thing that I often hear, the biggest thing that I often hear from people is that I could never do yoga because I'm not flexible. And what I'm here to tell you today is that I'm not saying that what you see in those pictures or in those videos isn't yoga, but I'm here to say that yoga is so much more than that. For those people, that might be their yoga. But yoga is this very broad and vast expanse of different tools and techniques to help us achieve better health and wellness and to become more familiar with our own bodies, with our own minds, with our own spirits. And it is a very personal practice. And traditionally, yoga was practiced from teacher to student in a one-on-one fashion. It's only been since it has moved here to North America and even South America from India over the last 100 years, where you see more of teachers teaching in studio classes with more than one student. And so using a more traditional format, because yoga is a personal practice, working one-on-one with me would be exactly that. What would happen in a one-on-one consultation is that we look at what is important to you. What are your goals? What are your health goals? What are your life goals? We look at your current life and what it holds. So all the things that happen in your life, and take those factors in. We look at movement, we look at movement patterns, we look at stress patterns, and we take all of those things together. And then from there, we create a very customized and very personalized practice for you. And in essence, it just depends on what you want to achieve as far as what tools from the yoga pantheon that we pull from. And so, yes, I guess it all depends on what you want to achieve in order for us to be able to move towards that. So sometimes people want to get flexibility. Some people want to be able to do those super bendy poses, and we can work towards that if that's your goal. Or some people just want to be able to have better mobility, to be able to tie up their shoelaces. They want to be able to go to the bathroom and be able to wipe their own bottoms by themselves as they move into older age. And that is totally achievable as well, having better movement, moving out of pain. And so the piece to all this is to really look at what you want, what you need. The other things to work with is realizing that we're not just our bodies, that we are also our minds, our spirits, and our emotions, our thoughts, all the other layers. And so maybe your one-on-one practice is to look at your lifestyle and look at your stress levels and to work towards a practice of de-stress. And yoga can help with that. So yoga has a lot of tools to help reduce anxiety, help with depression. Again, they're not cures, but they are tools that you can use in conjunction with other methods to help alleviate things that are stressors to your life and to your body. So those are the types of things that we would cover in a one-on-one. Another question that tends to come up is, how soon can I expect change? And so you can, again, it sort of depends. It depends on what we're working on. In a studio class, usually, after a practice, someone usually starts to feel good or feels the endorphins or the effects of a release. However, we sort of believe, and I work towards change over time. And so it's this idea of showing up and doing the practice and working towards that goal. Nothing is just a one-stop shop. We do have to do the work and the time, and that's also where I come in as a support system, to be able to help you, to be able to encourage you and hold some accountability for you to be able to work towards your health goals. And so I aid and assist in that as well. And another question that arises, that is often asked, is how is a one-on-one consult with me different than a studio class? So as I mentioned, traditional yoga, it was practiced from student to teacher for a specific personalized practice. And studio classes are actually much more of a challenge for a teacher, because you have many different bodies, many different experiences, many different lifestyles all together in one room. And so when we teach those classes, we tend to teach poses and practices that are more open for a lot of different lifestyles, and we don't really have the opportunity often of drilling into people's specific goals or work towards people's specific health. Particularly, we just sort of do the blanket that is good for most people again. But it can be really interesting, because in a single person, we are these great big webs of connective tissue. And even between the left side of your body and the right side of your body, there are differences. And so in a one-on-one consultation, we take a look at that and we adjust accordingly. Whereas it's funny to me that we expect people to be the same when even ourselves in our own body, things aren't the same. And so again, it's really a personalized practice. It's really driven towards you and towards what you want to see. Another thing that I would like to share, I guess, is a little bit about myself, about my background, about where I'm coming from, so that you know a little bit about me and that you're a little more familiar with how I approach things. And so I've been a yoga teacher for several years now. I've graduated from my 200-hour yoga program. I'm almost complete, an additional 300 hours for my advanced teacher training. And so I have taught over 1,000 hours. And so my classification, my designation is an ERYT. And so that means experienced registered yoga teacher. And so if you calculate it, that an average class is about an hour long, it means that I've taught over 1,000 classes. And at this point, I've actually almost doubled that. And some other pieces are that I have been trained specifically in programs designated for children with exceptionalities, both of mind and of body. And so working with a lot of different children with Down syndrome and autism, and in that I have also worked specifically with different community programs like Community Living and Carrie's Autism Services. So I've done a lot of privates for those people. So lots of experience working with different mobility and different mindsets in approaching yoga. The other piece that I have under my belt that is super specific for helping people one-on-one is I have taken Susie Hately's yoga therapy intensive program. So to be able to, again, recognize mechanics in the body and begin to work towards functional movement. And those two things have really helped me, in addition to lots of other programs that I have taken. And then in my own life, I am a mother, I'm a wife, I have 3 kids, I'm a householder, and I think that in that application, I have a real sense of where people are coming from. I am not removed rishi or sadhu that lives in an ashram or up on a mountain, where a day-long meditation practice is accessible. So for me, it looks more like working yoga into my life every single day. And because of that experience, I think I'm really able to help other people approach their own lives and be able to see where we can fit these yogic pieces in to make them accessible. Starting any new routine, starting any new program, the biggest challenge can be is to work that into your life. And so having lots of experience of how life happens, living in this world, living in our city and our society, I can really understand how busy life can be. And so when we do these programs, we can work together towards something that's really accessible, something that's really comfortable for you. I think that that's it that I can think of as far as any questions that might arise. However, if you have any questions or concerns, if you're curious at all, you want to know more, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am very accessible, and I'm always open to questions and concerns and doubts or epiphanies. As my teacher would say, I'm a very open individual, and I would love, my life is a life of service. I'm what I would classify as a karma yogi, and so my life is devoted to serving others. And so that's why I really would love to work with you if you're interested. So please don't hesitate to reach out, contact me. You can reach me at amber108yoga.com or at KIHC, the Kingston Integrated Healthcare Center, the clinic. And you might even recognize me from working there. I do work as the front office administrator, and you'll see my face there 3 days a week. So you may know me from there already. Anyways, I hope this video is helpful. I hope I've answered some of your questions. And most of all, I just hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Namaste.